Boy, that new intro is as cold as an Alaskan winter. You know what I'm talking about? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? We've been out for a minute, man. So I'm a little yeah, damn it. I'm breakdancing over here. I'm ready to get it back on, man. Welcome
All right, don't hurt
to the new
yourself.
season.
Don't hurt yourself.
The new season, season 4, episode 1 of Thy Mac and Free. Names are not important though. I am Mac. He is free. Free. What's going on, man? Other than the internet being
Every
broken,
everything is good, man. 2024 is getting started with a bang, and we gonna get into it
and
very
I'm talking
soon.
about I'm talking about shots fired. It sound like Dunkirk on the internet
People,
right now because
people catching strays and everything.
I mean everybody getting hit, and all I can hear is Cuba Gooding Jr. in the background going Ricky, because that's who them shots was fired at the other day.
Somebody did a
Man,
meme with that too.
exactly. Listen, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we give you to start the show off the Cat Williams talk. like let's just go on and do it. There's
Uh,
no
Del
it's a topic that
Ficio,
needs
I
no
don't
introduction.
appreciate your sarcasm.
Look, we got to talk about it. There's so much to unpack, and you know we talked about this in the pre-show green room, and my position is pretty firm. I posted about it. I said, all right, we were scheduled to go back for season 4 anyway. Let's go ahead and work it out. Everybody's M&Ms are now alphabetized, of course. And we get back in here. Shout out to McKee. We get back in here, and this happens. It's like, well, perfect. We're doing this Friday anyway, and it happened at such a perfect time, and it made us. We had to start a little late just to get prepared because nobody was prepared. Saw it earlier the episode for Shannon Sharp, and shout out to Shannon because he is Mama. I made it. He need to be saying that on the show. He need to be going Skip. I made it because that's where he at now. 500,000 views an hour is where it's at. It's already at 11 million views.
Mm.
Steve Harvey's show got his episode got 8 million. Just so you can get to understand it. Ricky Smiley show got 6 million views. The Cat Williams show episode will probably eclipse both of those combined by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I must say, there's so much I don't like about this.
Well, tell
there's
it
just
all.
so much
Tell
I
it
don't
all.
like about it. But I posted about it yesterday and I said, Cat Williams is telling the truth. Hold on. First off, let me do my disclaimer first.
Okay.
I'll give
Yeah.
my disclaimer
Let's
for
do it.
everybody because you know how people do. Like they hear your take and then it's like, oh, he don't like Cat. Let me give you my comedians that are out right now and give you the order so you can understand where I stand.
Don't do that order because that's gonna be another debate
It's
topic.
a whole nother debate, and I don't care about it. Like, come with it. I'm here when you ready. I'm Dave Chappelle first. I'm a much bigger Dave Chappelle fan than any other comedian alive. After Dave Chappelle is Cat Williams. So when you start adding us about what's going to get said for the next 15 minutes, make sure you go back to this part where I said Cat Williams is my number 2, and nothing he said yesterday changed it. But what he told you was the truth. It does not mean that it's true. And for people who don't understand that, what it basically means is just because you think you know something doesn't mean you actually know exactly what it is that you're talking about. And if you couldn't dissect what I was more interested in how people hung on to all his words. So how did you hear them? I don't.
Well, let
I'm
me
gonna go
further
for it.
explain that, we love Cat. I don't have a problem with everything because first and foremost, let's understand this.
Mm,
These wonderful human beings are entertainers. They're
absolutely.
entertainers first. So we understand that.
And it was entertaining.
So when you say when you see this, there's going to be extra flair because uh, that's what they do. Now, with the stuff he says, I have no problem with, and I stand with him on being bold, just simply being bold enough to call out, regardless of what backlash or vitriol he may receive. He is not scared to stand on his square to call out what he feels is truth, what he
But
feels is honorable to the God he believes in, and what he feels is righteous. I have no problem with that. Can the delivery be a little polished on some things? There was something I was like, whoa, ooh. But all in all, I admire his conviction
let
because
me
let's be say this and I'm gonna pass it back.
go ahead. Go ahead.
A lot of these things we hear, Cat's not the only one saying or speaking to it. He's not the first to speak to gatekeepers, stuff like that, and the ills of the industry. And so I want to stop that right there too, because we just the way Cat puts it out, he just lays it out so eloquently and comedic or funny with humor. So it's like we just kind of embellish it a little more and we take it to where it's what you say is at 11 million views already, and it does that, and he says that, and he knows that, and he knows his value. But let's be honest, he's not the first to say these things. He's not the first to name some of these people, or not the only one. So, hey man, hey, Rage Against the Machine is that qualified? I don't know, but go ahead, brother. I pass it back to you.
Trying to figure out where to start because it was like this. Like
Start
this.
with a pimp named Slickback. No, I'm joking. I'm
There's
joking.
so many. There's so many things wrong with this, and it's because again, what Cat's doing is he's looking bitter, and I'll be honest, in a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different situations, depending the situation, bitterness can be earned. Like to say that Cat's bitter doesn't mean that he doesn't have a right to be bitter. It's just acknowledging that he's bitter, and whether he's bitter or not is not for me to is not for me to conclude that. I don't know Cat Williams. Let me start with that. Like matter of fact, let me start by saying this. I don't know none of these motherfuckers personally. So, so I'm not gonna get into the whole. Well, he said, and we know that Steve ain't. I don't know Steve Harvey. I don't know Cedric the Entertainer. I don't know Cat Williams. I don't know Kevin Hart. I don't know Ricky Smiley. I don't know Tiffany Haddish. So I'm not gonna tell you what's true and what ain't true because I don't know these motherfuckers. I'm not gonna pretend like I do. What I can say is Cat Williams don't know him much more well than any of us do either. So that's the first part of what I have a problem with. First off, just because you in the industry with somebody or you've worked with somebody don't mean that you know them. I feel very funny about the fact that I have to come on this show and tell the American public, remind them that you don't know these motherfuckers. So why are your opinions so strong about people and subjects that you don't know? Let's start there first. You don't know them. There are people within industry that I do know, that I've seen the rumors. There are people that aren't in entertainment that I do know, that I've heard and seen the rumors and know for absolute fact they wasn't true. Matter of fact, some of the people I know have told the lie, and I was with them. it was like, no, why did you tell that story? It didn't happen that way. Like, we know this happens. So why is Cat Williams suddenly absolved from that possibility? That's the question that gets asked. Because the first question that I ask is, when anybody starts talking about anybody, the number one question I always ask myself is why? Now, if you want to talk about how you can just make up shit, Cat Williams called Kevin Hart a plant. Now, if I were Kevin Hart, we'd be having a midget fight tomorrow. Because what I'm not gonna do,
we don't
is
it's little people. See, hold on. Let me stop you right there. The views and opinions
Go ahead, do this.
expressed by individuals of the show do not reflect the opinions of all of the show.
Are you finished or are you done?
Oh, see, now you.
But no, it's so no, but no, seriously, because what he did was, one, he diminished how hard Kevin Hart works. That's number one. And saying that he was a plant, he's an industry plant. I mean, it's real easy to insert that Cat Williams is an industry plant if we wanted to, and let me show you how. Who's been talking about the Jeffrey Epstein list that came out a day before Cat Williams started running his mouth, and then suddenly, conveniently, here comes Cat Williams. Now ain't nobody talking about the Epstein list. So
it's that show. You don't. That's just coincidental.
But that's my point. But it's
Shannon. Shay puts that out when they edit it, so we don't know.
But my point is, it's easy to do. That's really what my point is. I'm not saying that's what it was. What I'm saying is, it's easy to do. When Cat Williams says, "Did you ever seen? You've never seen a Kevin Hart show sell out?" Well, forgive me for my lying eyes, but
no, I don't think he was talking about his specials. I think he was talking about when he was doing stand up at the comedy club. Because remember, it was in the context of him not coming to LA.
You've never seen a line around a building for Kevin Hart, is what he said. That's what he said. Like, if everybody's gonna hang on what he said, let's really dissect what he said. He said, "You've never seen a sold out Kevin Hart show." That's what he said. Well, my line,
have we been to a Kevin Hart show?
I had been to one.
And Mac, Mac, I'm gonna stop you right here, because this is where you being disingenuous. Because you work in television and you work with cameras and film, and you know that these angles and certain shots can be maneuvered to make things look like they aren't what they really are.
There's only so much you can do.
People do that in football stadiums all the time.
There's
unless we're there, we can't really say yay or nay. I'm not denying.
Look, here's what I can tell you. What I can tell you is, if you look up the Kevin Hart shows, you'll find out that there's a number of them sold out where they say they can't get in the building. Now, unless you can tell me that 50 Cent bought all the seats like he did for Ja Rule, and it was the only one in the stadium at the time, then I'll roll with you. But you're not going.
That's hate.
But that's true hate. Like, that's super petty, by the way. But my point is, what Cat Williams did was he expressed his opinions, and you should have given Shannon Sharpe the disclaimer so he could say that before the show. That's how he should have introduced it, was the way you just did that disclaimer. That's what should have happened first. Because when Cat started talking, he started talking. And that's how he feels about the people that he knows. But you're not going to lead credence to what you're saying because you said it. Like this, like, when are we going, as society, when are we going to address these issues and say, hey, man, what Cat said on that show was very entertaining. I got myself some great laughs from it. I thought it was very interesting what he said. I thought some things that he said were very true in terms of what his perspective is and in terms of factual ideology. I'm with him on some of the stuff, but that doesn't mean that everything is like he called Steve Harvey a step and fetch dude. Why? because you disagree with the way that man makes his money? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? How is it conveniently that you can just start targeting folks, and then when you see the vitriol that comes from other folks in society, like in the audience of Cat Williams, the people who don't like Steve Harvey, and I knew Steve Harvey was Stephen Fett. No, you don't. You still don't know. That's what I'm here to tell. That's what I'm here to tell American people. You still don't know. It's not true just because Cat Williams
Well,
said
hold
it.
on. Let me ask this.
Go
Because
ahead.
one point we're missing with this.
I'm
Had
with.
these been individuals that we don't like or we're not fans of or have a certain respect for, would you feel this way? Because sometimes it's hard to hear certain, we'll say, facts or opinions on individuals that we like
With
or
that
that we
being
might
said,
place in a certain type of respect level. We place on a certain, and then we hear certain things, and it's hard to stomach. So then that's when it goes. We attack the messenger. Now I'm not confirming yay or nay on what cat, but I see this sometimes when it's people that we like or we love or we've placed in a certain uh,
but
plateau.
you just said it though.
We hear certain things, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh no, not him. We
but
can't
but you
do that.
just said it. But you just said it though, because there are people who are running to Steve Harvey's defense, and they don't know him. I'm talking to them people too. You don't know him. Like, what are you doing? You just a fan of him. You saw people who watched the R. Kelly video back in the early 2000s stand out front of the courtroom screaming "Free R. Kelly." We know this happens. Like, it's not new. Is the point that I'm getting to? Like, it's not new information. We know that this happens, but it's one of the things that I protect my kids against, because when you're in the presence of certain celebrities, you find that some celebrities, honestly, I've found that people who were trying to be celebrities that weren't celebrities yet, or some never came to fruition to be that, turn out to be narcissists. And narcissists like to change the narrative as frequently as they'd like to. And this isn't me saying that Cat Williams is a narcissist. What I'm saying is, one of the messages that I give my children is, if you run into a celebrity, calm down and remind yourself that you don't know this person personally. So you really don't know what you're going to get when you run up on them and start talking to them. That also should take into effect that when they tell you something, you should have the same rules for them as you do for everybody else. Believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. And the way they've been pulling receipts out on Cedric the Entertainer today, like, that's starting to have some validity. But them receipts is coming out like clockwork. Did you see the Bominicious joke that he took from Designing Women? My goodness. So that looks bad. But again, I don't know the origin of that joke. And a lot of old jokes get told in new eras. That Designing Women was out in the 1980s. He resurfaces that joke in the late 2000s. Like, did he really steal the joke, or did he refresh it? Who cares? Both times it was told, it was funny. I kind of don't care. Like, why is it? Here's a good question for you, Free. Why is it okay? Let's just go to the joke stealing for a second. Why is it okay to do cover band music but not add elements of one joke to another one? Why do comedians take that so personally?
I think that's
You
apples
you
and
the, you the
oranges.
funny one.
I think it's apples and oranges because if you're a cover band, you're covering a song that was made popular. People know you're singing someone else's song. If you're remaking it and doing it, people still know that's someone else's song. But if a comedian has done a joke somewhere that they worked hard on, and let's be clear, if you remake a song, you have to go through whatever rights that is to clear and do whatever, right? To remake that song. So there's structure there to keep individuals from taking full credit for songs they didn't write or didn't produce, right? But if you take a joke that somebody worked on personally, what is there to regulate that? Okay, I'm going to get compensation or recognition for this joke that I put out. Even if you added on or added something to try to make it yours, there's
Mm,
no system in place. And
mm.
listen, we come from a hip hop culture where we know biting is a no no.
Yeah,
So
it's cardinal sin.
so
Absolutely.
it puts it on the level of that. Like, if I've done this joke and worked hard on it, we know certain portions of America might not have seen this joke, or maybe I'm not as big as a comic as you are,
Mm.
so that they won't have access, so they don't know. So now it puts it into question. Okay, whose joke is it? We don't really know. Now, fortunately, on some things, people have posted some clips to try to show, but there's a lot of because I'm gonna put it like this, and I'll toss it back.
No, go ahead.
Every comedian I've seen on interviews that said people have stolen jokes and done stuff. So, I want to say it's kind of a common thing. So, you wonder why some comedians don't just expect it sometimes. But it adds a little more to it when you have these mega stars, said the entertainer that's been on network television, had specials, is hosted shows. These are kings of comedy. These are mega stars. So
I'm,
it
I'm
adds a little more.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not a fan of anybody taking anybody else's intellectual property. I don't give a damn what industry you're in.
Yeah,
Like people deserve to get credit for the work that they did and what their original ideas are at all times. So that's not why I asked the question. I just found it interesting because I didn't know it was a thing. Like I didn't know, like, dang, comedians out here stealing jokes. I'm not surprised, but I didn't know that was a thing that there were legitimate beefs about joke stealing until now. Like and it's like so for anybody that's watching, like this is all new for me. Like I'm just now
you
catching
need to
up.
watch more interviews of comedians, man.
Look, I follow comedy hype news. They never said nothing about it from what I can see. But it's
No,
I don't know, man.
watch
Like it's
What's Pierre's show? Watch Pierre.
yeah, exactly.
'Cause they
And
always come on and talk about beefs they've had with shout out to Pierre.
yeah,
Being
shout out.
my brother.
Yeah. But it is I didn't know it was like I said, I'm not taking the side on this. I just didn't know it was a thing. But I have to admit the social media sphere has enlightened me. I cannot believe the number of people. I can't believe that I'm actually shocked at what I'm about to say. But I cannot believe how people hung on to literally every word and agreed with him about people they do not know.
But I don't
That's what
I don't
got me.
no,
You
no, but
don't know.
I don't think it's hanging on to every word more so that that's the nature of social media. They love this. Anytime anything is exposed. Look at how many things you go online
That's
on
not social
YouTube
media though. That's
and you
society.
see. But I'm saying if you
Yeah.
go on YouTube, a lot of the titles that people use to attract people is such and such exposed, such and such exposed. Is this it, or have they been exposed? So anytime it has this element, and because we are so intrigued with the, I'll say it for lack of Illuminati and the entertainment industry and all this, it adds a little more element of must see TV
But
because
think
we
about it though.
heard it so many
But
times.
here's why I don't like it. Because I hadn't got here yet. There's a reason why I don't like it. Because I don't like giving credence to this type of activity. And what I mean by that is you start allowing anybody to say anything about anybody. Everybody is now allowed to say everything about everybody. Because you've created the culture of you can say what you want. If you see me somewhere and you can convince a group of people that you know me in some, but yeah, I know him. That dude is a bank robber. Really, he's a bank robber? Yeah, I'm gonna go shake his hand. That's how you. Then he comes over and he shakes my hand. He's just like, hey man, I just wanted to say, hey, you look like somebody I know. Then walk back to that group of people, go, see, I told you. Now everybody in that damn group thinks you're a bank robber because that dude told you that. Like that, I want people to take a step back and have the common sense here. To just say, agree or disagree, you don't know this motherfucker. like just be able to take a step back and say, I don't know you. Stranger danger. I'm not gonna listen to everything that you say because you said it. Because again, like if you get into Diddy, the rumors have been swirling around him for years, decades even, about the stuff that we hearing about now. Like we was hearing about this in the early 2000s. It's the same information. Like it didn't change. But for people who've been close enough to him to give credence to these stories without being able to give you any kind of evidence that what they're saying is real, you got to be able to see through that. It's the reason why you have people who will, it's a lot easier to go to YouTube and listen to me or you give somebody the news instead of them. And if it's something that you really want to see, like there are ways that you can go and find the information, and there's ways for you to be able to decipher what's real news and what ain't. And if because somebody can set up a camera, start talking into a microphone, and go live stream and tell you something, that does not make it news. That also does not make it true. It absolutely does not make it factual or accurate. It just means that somebody can open their mouth and start telling you anything. And my challenge when I saw the responses to everybody, my challenge was, hey, challenge yourself to not jump on a bandwagon. Whether I don't care whose wagon it is, but if you don't know these people, why are you so willing to hitch your wagon to any of them? That's kind of where I am with it. It's just it was that I was absolutely fascinated at the positions that people took. He was like, I believe him. Why? Because he said it. Again, and I keep saying this for this reason. You don't know this motherfucker. So why are you so willing to just say, yeah, I believe him? It exposes that people just want to believe it for whatever reasons they want to believe it. Doesn't mean it is true. It is, and it's a dangerous concept for people to just haphazardly start believing anything that anybody says because they're used to it. There's a lot of good brothers that have gone to prison because of that same reason. There's a lot of good brothers and sisters who've gotten hurt for that same reason. They call these witch hunts. It's how they start. It's what one person say, which is the reason why I don't like it. So I started with my disclaimer earlier. Dave Chappelle 1, Cat Williams 2. We can discuss everybody else. But if one of them has a special on TV, I'm going to watch it. Cat Williams had Atlanta is my favorite comedy show of all times. Cat Williams is a part of the funniest episode. He won an Emmy for it. He is a part of the funniest episode to ever grace a television. And I'm telling you, that episode was only that funny because Cat Williams was in it. And he played the role extremely well. This isn't a bash Cat session. It's not what I'm doing today. I'm bashing y'all. If you really want to know who I'm pointing the finger at, the whack-a-mole is on you because y'all the ones that have me like, I heard Cat and I laughed at all his jokes and was like, he probably don't know what he's talking about, but it's Cat. He talks crazy like this every now and again. But when I woke up the next morning and saw the responses, like, what is wrong with y'all? If you so blame me for bashing y'all, I definitely ain't bashing Cat because I don't look. He spoke his mind. He said what he felt. There are things I don't like about it. It feels real bedside chatting to a certain degree. And honestly, I thought we wasn't okay with that. I thought that wasn't the thing to do. But apparently, I guess it's okay if you Cat Williams and you talking to and you're doing it to people that those people don't like. So that's where I am with it. Man, he really
done
broke.
Went 30 minutes, man. We got to move to something else before we get
I
out of
know
here.
because he really broke the internet. He broke the
Shout
internet.
Shout out to Club Shay Shay and Cat Williams and all the comedians. We love all of them.
For giving us all this. Hold on, I gotta address one more thing about Cat. How somebody explain to me? Shannon Sharpe asked Cat Williams, and I got a feeling this was just a joke because he was smiling a lot when he did it, but it was still kind of weird. That's why I got to point this out before we get off the topic. Shannon Sharpe said, "Cat Williams, are you and Ludacris related?" And Cat Williams' answer was, "We were both brought into the Illuminati." He didn't give no kind of lead up to how they even got to that story. He just proceeded to tell that story.
But how do you know that wasn't purposely questioned or framed like that to go into that?
We don't know. But what I can tell you is it doesn't make any sense to
how
ask
do you know that
question.
wasn't the reason the rumor got started?
What rumor? Hold on, what rumor?
They were related. Where did the question come from if they were related? There had to be a rumor. Y'all related.
I don't know the origin of the question. That's the reason why I gave you the validity of what you just said, because I don't know the origin of the question. I'm not sure why the question
That's
was
what
asked.
I'm saying. The question had to come from somewhere. Where, like, why? What would give him the impetus to just ask randomly, "Are you and Ludacris related?"
But the answer made less sense. So I give you that point, but the answer made less sense than the question. There was a probing question. That was a yes or no. Are you and Ludacris related?
I think it was probing. I think it was probing, but I think Shannon knew that the floodgates were open. I think it was disguised maybe as a yes or no, but I think he knew the floodgate.
That was a very close-ended question. Free, are you and McKee related?
It was disguised. No, that's different. Because you know that's not different. D, because you know we're related. The fact of the matter is, why would I randomly just say, let me pick Cat and Luda to ask if, like, you don't go around randomly just saying with people you don't know for sure. You just go, are you related to such and such? Unless you hear a last name or something, you might say, okay, are you related anyway? But if you have no idea and you're in it, like, what would prompt you to ask that unless
I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair because I don't know the origin to that question. So I'm gonna be fair. Let's get in the DeLorean real quick. Let's go back 15 years. And let's say that Lisa Ray is being interviewed. And the interviewer asked Lisa Ray, "Are you and the Brat related?"
What would bring about that question though?
There were rumors that they were related. That
exactly.
But listen to what I'm saying. But listen to what I'm saying. But based on that premise alone, if Lisa Ray then proceeds to talk about the Illuminati,
no.
That's what happened, though.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if that might have been the basis that they were called in for a role because they looked alike, or that if the rumors might have swirled around that, because remember when he answered, he pointed out they wanted somebody with sideburns and this and this. So what I'm saying is, with the way it went, I feel like because that was just so random. Because have you heard a rumor about Cat being related to Ludacris?
Nah, I didn't.
That
But
is
like, that
not
didn't mean it
that is
didn't
not
happen.
that is not a underground, a backpack, a nat. That's not something that's known or been rumored in pop culture. So if he, that's why I say it was in disguise, because he just pulled it out, and I think he had to know like the basis for how that was rumored, because that question is so random, because that's not something that's talked about in the rumor mills. Like, you just admitted you ain't heard it. I've never heard that. So what would bring him to the point to be like, "Are you a Ludacris?" I think he knew what door that question was going to open.
So hold on.
Let's not underestimate
So hold
the
on a second.
prowess of these media folks.
Here's what I did. I
Okay.
used Google and I looked this up. The reason he asked the question is because Ludacris is actually, and this was, hold on, let me find out when this was written.
Is 1 inch taller than him.
Yeah, that too. So this was June 22nd, 2021. They did a profile on Ludacris on blackpast.org, and they duly noted, that Ludacris is the distant cousin of singer Monica, comedians Cat Williams, and Richard Pryor. So now we understand why the question was asked.
No, you can't do that.
Why?
So you sure
It
Shannon Sharp? You sure Shannon Sharp went to blackpass.com? You
no,
sure he
but,
just
it, but
randomly
no,
Googled?
no. But you don't
Oh,
have
ho,
to
ho,
go
ho,
to
ho.
blackpass.com to know that it's out there.
Oh, ho,
This is
ho,
my
ho, ho,
point.
ho.
Like, if it's out there, it's out there.
What I'm saying is, before this interview, did you know to even Google, are they related? So what
No,
I'm
because
saying is,
I didn't care.
it's still subjective to just assume like Shannon went to a
no.
source,
It's not as subjective.
or that it was still an open rumor like that. I still think it came from a place. Well, you might be right. I'm gonna give you
There's
I'm gonna
some
give you that.
there's some subjectivity
I'm gonna give you that.
aligned with it, but the subjectivity meter went from here to here.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
We on
You
empty
right.
now,
You
because
right.
the
I mean,
question
if it's
was,
on
where
Black,
did it
because I use
generate?
Black Pass in my classroom to do
Yeah,
profiles for my kids to write.
but
I was teaching.
but I guess,
So I'll give you that. If no, I'm
but,
serious.
yeah,
When we Black History and then my African American has, we look up people for a short bio. I usually go to Black Pass.
yeah.
They usually have
But
a
I'm
pretty
not
good short
saying this is
bio.
what this. I'm
So
not saying that that's necessarily what Shannon did.
no,
What
I
I'm
get it,
saying
and that was
is,
a reach on my
if
part.
yeah, if
That was
if
but what I'm saying,
yeah,
what I'm saying, if it's on there, it has to mean that it's something well enough known for them to put it on. So
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
and that's what sparked. So now
So I
we knew
pull
that
back.
it was, yeah. Now that we know that it was out there, and it what it and I had to notate that the article that they wrote on him was in 2021. So this didn't just come up yesterday. Like, it's been out. You see what I'm saying? Like, this has been
Yeah.
out, but we just didn't know about it until yesterday. But now that it's happened, and we know that this is the reason it came up, why is his answer about the Illuminati when he's just simply asking, "Are you and Ludacris
I
related?"
mean, now
It's
it
a
makes
yes or no question.
I mean, now it looks very out there with this,
And
especially when it's stated publicly and they ain't refuted it. Obviously, it's still up there.
yeah,
So you know that's your cousin.
but you gonna talk
Like,
about the
why would
Illuminati?
you even go
But,
into all that?
but I will give Ricky Smiley some credit because he played the bigger man. That Cat Williams talked about his son being a sacrifice. Them
Yeah,
fighting words I ain't
that
never
was
heard
what I
fighting
was
words
hitting.
before in my life. Huh?
That's what I was hitting at earlier, like shit with his delivery. When I was like, some of it,
That
man,
ain't
like when he
delivery.
was like talking about earthquake, quake, and just saying he can't read like that ain't. I was like, ah, just he could have framed it, other reasons. Just said he ain't, he's not been in movies for certain reasons, but just go public and say somebody can't read. That's
I,
tricky. Yeah,
I said it was that like he crossed some lines yesterday. And again, it's funny. It is what it
because
is.
earthquake is in my top 5.
Yeah, that listen, all I know is
Present, top 5 present. I don't know about
yeah.
all time. We ain't put
All
that.
I know is Cat Williams better be lucky that he's not qualified to host the Oscars. Because it'd be a line of these Negroes sitting down up front and walk up on stage and slap. Look, he took shots at people.
Moving on. Let's move on.
He told these jokers that they would have like this is how you know it's Illuminati. They give you a man face, light skinned woman. Like,
That's
wow,
right. That's right.
like
They pay, like,
where are
look at
you
all
jokers
look at
at
all they
this
wives.
morning
Look at all they wives.
telling Cat Williams to meet you outside?
Look at all they wives. Look at all they wives. Now let me stop.
Yeah, like let's listen. It was fighting words.
I can't find the lie nowhere. Nah, but moving on. But shout out to them. And
Listen,
you know,
not
it
no
is what it
problem.
is. But as long as we remember it's entertainment,
Yeah, it is. But
And
there's some
we
lines
know
that you can cross.
there's
That
things
must
that
be
go on. Yeah.
look. That might be what he said to that 13-year-old boy that choked him out on the football field.
That boy was not 13. That boy was like 21. Moving on. We got something else to talk about, man. Before I go to bed. It's past my bedtime.
Oh my God! Yeah,
Messing with you.
we
Messing
are
with you,
headed
Mac.
into we headed into the geriatric world these days. So let's talk about Kimberly A. Martin.
Yeah,
Because
Kimberly Martin. Oh my God.
so
Getting into sports for those that
yeah, so for those of you who don't know who Kimberly A. Martin is, Kimberly A. Martin is a subpar sideline reporter for
no, don't do that.
ESPN.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No,
Once
I
again,
listen.
views and opinions.
I have credibility. I've done the research to be able to credibly assign that as subpar. What she did was subpar anyway. So Cam Newton
Yeah, that was, yes.
Cam Newton gave a tape. He gave a I'll call it Cat Williams like opinion on
No, it
whether
wasn't
or
because
not
Cam
he told the truth from his
from
perspective.
his perspective.
And that so did Cat Williams. That's the reason why I'm
But
saying it that way.
it's different because
Why? What
Cam.
was controversial?
Well, hold on, you can't do that.
It was controversial.
But it's not controversial because as Ryan Clark pointed out, you hear many other people in commentary talk about game managers, and you hear many people talk about that. Cam is
No,
once
that's true.
again, Cam's not the first to talk about that, but Cam was an all-pro quarterback, went to a Super Bowl, rookie of the year,
Absolutely.
which Ryan Clark pointed out. So it's totally different if Cam, who's played the position and knows what it looks like from being a game changer himself, being a running quarterback
He
and
was
a
a game
throwing
changer.
quarterback. So I would think his position to speak of or recognize it in others would be a little more credible than just what Cat's putting out as
Well,
think.
hold, let's
Let me just
let's tell
think
people.
about where there's. I think
But
Cam could offer more insight to it.
we got to tell people what he said because we're leaving
Tell him
out
what he said, Mac.
what
Tell him what he said.
what he said was that there are in the NFL quarterbacks are either game changers or game managers. And then he started naming names. He said Dak Prescott, game manager, guy up in Minnesota, game manager, Tua
Miami.
Tagovailoa, game manager, but then you had the Patrick Mahomes and the Lamar Jacksons that are game changers. Like there's no lie in that statement.
It's not.
If you disagree with the definition of what game changer is, then that's fine. What Kimberly A. Martin did, which amplified the microscope for me on Kimberly A. Martin, because to me, I'm not one that subscribes to you have to have had your hand in the dirt to be able to give an expert analysis. Listen, we know plenty of athletes that cannot give you any kind of breakdown on the X and O's of the game, and they are incredible athletes. They just didn't take the time to study the game in that way. So to be honest with you, there are elements of basketball that Brian Windhurst knows best than some former basketball players do, if we're being honest. And that's just about the work ethic of some people putting their effort in and doing it. That's the reason why ex-pro athletes make the best analysts, if we're being honest, because of it goes to show the level of work that they had in the game. So even when they come to athletic attrition, they're able to come back for and explain the game in a way that makes it understandable for people who don't understand it from their point of view. So this isn't a shot at Kimberly A. Martin because she can't speak about what I just said. You know what I'm saying? Talking about it from an analytic point of view. She didn't. And it's probably because she can't. Because when you look at what her sideline reporting stuff is, it's more kind of gossipy. Like, here's what I heard in the locker room. Here's what they're saying in the locker room. There's no real sports analysis that comes attached to that. But so what she talked about was Cam Newton not being in the league, which he's been out of it for, I think, 2-3 years now, and his outfit. And it's like, hey, you owe Cam an apology. Because what Cam Newton has done has been significantly more accomplishing at his craft than you are at yours. So I did some looking up on Kimberly A. Martin. And you know what I found? Nothing. I found what school she graduated from, and that was it. She ain't been nominated for nothing. She ain't won nothing. She didn't win the best media person in high school. She didn't win it in college. She wasn't any kind of valedictorian. She didn't win it. She sits on the board for the black media members of some sort, and that was the list. So if you don't give that kind of take against somebody who's worked very hard at their craft, and just so you know that I'm not this isn't me mansplaining and being biased about and saying that women can't do it. Mina Kimes does a great job, and she has the same job as Kimberly A. Martin. If we're being honest, they have the exact same job, and Mina Kimes can give you an analytical breakdown of what's supposed to happen on the field. That's impressive. Kimberly A. Martin doesn't do that. So before you qualify yourself to talk about what a person is doing, you yourself have to at least take some sort of onus in your own craft before you can critique that of somebody else's. That's all I wanted to say about that, because that one got me. And it's not because Cam Newton is my quarterback, because he's still my quarterback. That's my quarterback. He's still my quarterback. But that's not why. It's not fair.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
Once again, television is entertainment. And when I have a chance to watch Get Up and other stuff she's been on, I've noticed she always takes that approach to be kind of the one that's spicy, kind of like the Skip, the one who's kind of contrarian, maybe not always to the subject matter, but kind of in the viewpoint. And I've kind of noticed that. And it seems like she's taken on that role to kind of bring a little bit of, we'll say, quote unquote, flavor to the show to kind of keep it lively. And I think it's attract uh, viewers because let's be honest, on any platform, whether it's sports, talk show, whatever, there's got to be an element of controversy. There's got to be someone who's controversial because that is what draws people to it. That is what keeps people captivated. And I think sometimes I think she takes this role. Now, does that justify? By no means, because she went personal on something that was critiqued by someone who's played the position, has been successful at the position, who was offering an opinion, and you did not attack the opinion. You took personal shots, which first makes me think, is there some history there?
Mm.
Like, are you holding a grudge?
That's what it sounds like. That never makes
Because
any sense.
I would hate to think that she would just do that just to get the ratings up, but you never know, you know. Or maybe she was offended because maybe she likes one of the quarterbacks that she named and roots for them. I don't know. But I'm not going to exclude the fact that she was dead wrong in this approach. Now I can't go into her quality as a broad. I haven't studied her on sideline or whatever. Mac, you've done more of that, but I will say I do notice she kind of takes on that persona of kind of being. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say the predictable thing,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna have a little
So,
humor or sarcasm to my,
so I want to
She
make sure
takes
I stay with you on this one because everything that you just said, I agree with, and I need to make a correction because she has won some awards. The research team did give me the list of those awards, so I want
There
to
you
make
go.
sure.
Thank you,
I want
research
to make
team.
sure that I make the correct
Yes,
because that's
yes.
what journalists are supposed to do. So let's
Uh-oh.
start there. So let's she was 2011.
Take those
She was
shots.
the Emerging Journalist of the Year award that was issued by the National Association of Black Journalists. That's you're gonna see a theme of this. She was second place in the narrative sports feature, issued by the Press Club of Long Island Media in 2014. She was the 2014 Trailblazer Award, issued by the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, the Long Island chapter. In 2015, she was issued first place for project writing, issued by the Associated Press Sports Editors, which that's actually very significant. She was the National Headliner Award for sports writing, first place by the Press Club of Atlantic City, issued the New York Association of Black Journalists Best Feature Award in 2016, both of those in 2016. And last but not least, 2016, she was issued the Salute to Excellence Award, first place by the National Association of Black Journalists. So in reality, you hadn't won since he did.
Stop.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So you should at least feel his pain because he's sitting on the couch.
Stop.
He's reinvigorating his career. But the last time he won was the last time you won. So either way, my point is attack what he was talking about and show that you earned the Salute to Excellence Award in 2016. Did you lose sight of any of the goals since then? Like what are we doing? But it has turned me to the point now where I
Hold on.
can't
I think it
validate
was,
anything.
I believe the great poets from A Tribe Called Quest said it. We're on award tours with Muhammad, my man. But anyway, I had to throw that in there. But look, I don't think it's about the awards, Mac. She's still in the game and she's playing at a high level. She's on a major sports network and she's in the game.
Okay, fair
So,
enough.
once again, but I want to say this. and I hate to do this, but I'm gonna go there. As a woman and a black woman, you know, up there with all men, and we know the majority of people who watch sports shows are men. We can safely say that without pulling up the stats. Am I safe to say that
Yeah,
without
sure,
a disclaimer?
sure.
So you've got to have some bravado to kind of stake your claim and build your credibility. And I think she comes very bold in a lot of stuff. When I've seen it, just to kind of say, "Hey, I'm here, and I'm supposed to be here." And I think that plays a part into the response. Now, like I say, it's not an excuse because I think you should always keep it on sports. But honestly, I think in that she got caught in a moment where she was trying to go for the wow factor, like I'm not gonna be just caught in Cam celebrity, uh, maybe, and I don't know, but I think there's that portion to it. And then also, let's be honest, man. How many of these journalists really value, let's say, athletes that haven't gone through the trenches? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm,
you got many athletes that just pop up with podcasts, but they haven't really worked on the networks or really done stuff. And how many times do we? I think some at times there are journalists that might be like, "Oh, this," he gets a microphone and now he thinks he can do what we do.
yeah.
I think there's an element of that in there because he hasn't come through a major network and earned his way up to anything. Now in the age of technology, everybody can pop up with a show or podcast and have an opinion. Still doesn't give you the right to attack personally, but I think many of those factors contributed to that response.
It's
And
again,
that's an opinion.
I
I
don't.
want to say that for the
Yeah,
record. It's an
like I
opinion.
said, I don't subscribe to the you had to do the job to be an analyst of it. Like it doesn't require you to actually get your hands dirty to understand it, but it does require you to get your hands dirty to qualify you to disrespect it. Like you must respect it. Like if you can't give those type of opinions if you haven't done it. Like you don't. First off, if somebody asks me who's more qualified to determine what a game changer versus a game manager is, Cam Newton or Kimberly A. Martin, I'm sorry, Cam Newton. Cam Newton's much more qualified to do that, largely because he was a game changer, and nobody's going to dispute that. You can say what he is now, but what he was a game changer by far. Like it's not even up for debate. Like I said, the man won. What was that? Was that the JUCO championship or was that a Division II championship? JUCO.
It was JUCO, yeah,
So he
because
won a
he
JUCO championship.
got in trouble at Florida,
Yeah,
and then he went to JUCO, and
went
then
to
he won it.
JUCO, won a championship there. Went to Auburn the very next year, won a championship there. Got drafted and won Rookie of the Year, and then 5 to 6 years later was the MVP and was playing in the first Super Bowl. He almost won, and that was he went to before he went to Florida. I believe he won the Georgia State championship in football, if I'm not mistaken. Like dude's way too accomplished for him to be relegated to his outfit and what he's doing now. Cam's doing the same thing Kimberly A. Martin's doing now. He's in journalism because he's aware that he's no longer the game changer. I don't think anybody's more aware of it than him. Otherwise, he ain't getting zooted up on the show and having guests and having those conversations with them. Like he's not doing that. He's doing his Shannon Sharp thing right now. And I'm in support of that. I was in heavy support of Kimberly A. Martin, so that's the reason why we went on as long about this because I am deeply disappointed. that was the direction that you would go
Yeah.
at another brother. But as they say, all skin folk ain't kin folk. So
Oh, don't do
we
that.
gonna move along.
Don't do that.
We gonna move along. All right.
He said it. I didn't, Kimberly.
We got 5 more minutes.
Let's get to this.
A panel of 700 people were asked if you had to do a hot 16, who would you choose, Jadakiss or Black Thought? And that panel overwhelmingly chose Jadakiss. And I'm going to give another disclaimer. I love Jadakiss and his music, but I'm not going with Jadakiss on this one because you not gonna tell me my ears and eyes are lying to me. Black Thought can give clinics on how to give the hottest 16 that you could ever imagine. I'm going with Black Thought. I can't.
I think we gotta place this in context.
Ooh.
And I do when I give my answer. Because I can understand why they chose Jadakiss. And I would go with Jadakiss. If I'm thinking
He's
in
done more
terms of
features where he gave you the hot 16s.
Well,
Yeah.
if I'm thinking of what would sell, what might chart, who's the more visible as it comes to, I guess, the mainstream chart toppers, that's why I would go with Jada. Let's be honest, regardless of who it is, whether Black Thought or Jada, it's gonna be
It's
hot.
gonna be a hot 16.
16 is gonna be hot. But I think for marketability, it would be Jada. Now, if we're just talking about penmanship, who might have you could go with Black Thought. I think his pen is as good as anybody's. Like he's gonna lay it down. But are we talking about a hot 16 to make a hit? Or are we just talking about something that we just want to enjoy the penmanship? Like if this is going to radio and we trying to get a hit, I'm gonna go with the voice. Jadakiss.
I'm
gonna go with Jadakiss. But now, if we just like I say, if it's just something we can relish and marvel at, just I can go with I could go with both, but then I could see the argument for Black Thought.
Yeah.
Because he's unreal with the lyricism. But will he sell a record, sell more records than Jada? With the raspy, with the tape, the showmanship. I don't know. So I'm for me, that question has to be placed in a certain context.
I can't get past the fact
Get over it.
I can't get
over it.
I can't get past it. Black Thought said, got my crown tilted, my gown quilted, silk with cashmere, burning Rome down in a minute, built it last year. News flash, I dodged the bullet that killed the cashier. My homie told me to come with him to the masjid. Like, when you start talking about somebody who can lay 16, and again, this is no disrespect at all to Jadakiss, because my God, the problem isn't that Jadakiss was chosen. The problem is he was chosen with an overwhelming number. He had plus 586 votes out of 700.
Once again, that's why I'm saying when you look at star power.
But is it really star power, or is it because when you think about Black Thought, you think about conscious rapper you don't think about a guy who's done a lot of features. And that'll have a lot to do with the star power because Jadakiss has done a lot of features.
But see what hurts is I think Black Thought also just gets lumped in with the Roots. You just say the Roots. So you just think hip hop band.
Yeah.
So you think all elements. You know, with Jada, he's had a solo career. That voice, it stands out. It's like a Jada verse. And I think for the ear and the masses, and back to your point of he's done more features. I mean, it's more of a I think when it comes to that, and we're talking about mainstream, he's more of a celebrity in that status, in that regard. That's why I said, it's got to be placed in context. Am I trying to get a hit when I need these 16? Or am I just talking about who's going to have the best penmanship and just lay the hottest verse just for, a novelist to enjoy it? Yeah,
Give me
I probably
either.
would go with Black Thought. I
Give
would
me
probably go with Black
give me
Thought.
either one. I think I just wanted to take this time to just educate all the people that picked Jadakiss first. Like it was to me, it wasn't. Jadakiss is probably gonna win that one every day of the week, twice on Sunday. Like if I'm being honest, let me just be honest. I think this is more educational for people because I don't think people really understood what Black Thought brings when you hear Black Thoughts in the building. I think that's the part that got missed. And Jadakiss, I think Jadakiss was just too easy of an answer in here.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's more educational. When I read stuff like this, Dada Alibaba, the talented Mr. Trotter, inside of my right hand, the mark of the stigmata, Big Papa with Chopper, Emperor Jaffe Jaffa, motherfucker. I'm stronger than the coffee out in Kaffa. All y'all niggas vagina hop remind me of the iconic pop. I step inside the booth. I'm a bull inside a China shop. Dog, let's move on to the next topic. Y'all need to go and listen to some Black Thought and some Roots albums. And Jadakiss should probably still win because, again, hands down, one of my favorite rappers. Like I can't even. This is definitely not a Bash Jada session for me, for sure. Like hands, the Lox is one of my all-time favorite group. Matter of fact, it's Wu-Tang. I'm gonna go back to the disclaimer I gave with Cat Williams. It's Wu-Tang, and then it's the Lox, and then we can have a conversation about everybody else when it comes to rap groups. It's those two for me, and then it's everybody else. So this definitely is not a bashing session for them. What this is a, man, y'all really have slept on Black Thought session because those numbers should not have been 586 to 100 and whatever it was for him. Like that it shouldn't have been that number. That's really what I'm saying. Like that number was offensive. Black Thought got that low of the numbers. Like, no, y'all not. I think we done, man. I'm tired. You tired. It's 2024. I don't know how we can talk about intimidating women at this point. Do you?
Nah, we might have to do that next time.
Yeah, we're gonna do that next time. The next time
It's a new year, man.
Yeah, let's go ahead and tease it. I'm gonna write it down so I can make sure that we remember. Do this next time. And as you see, I had to write it slow because I'm remedial. But there's just to tease it, on the next episode of Mac and Free, we're gonna talk about the intimidating women. Are women intimidating? Or do women do things that are intimidating to men while dating? What could be, how do men see women who are perceived as intimidating? You might not like my answer.
Only when they use us for foodie calls.
That is intimidating.
After all, It's a foodie call.
That is intimidating. What you want? You want Wendy's? Or I get you the $5 biggie bag.
Yeah,
They got
it's
sandwiches
only
and
6
nuggets.
in some places.
They got sandwiches and nuggets in there.
That's right.
You want them both?
That's right.
I'll splurge and get you a strawberry frosty.
Mm.
It's going down in the
Whatever.
All right.
Happy New Year to everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. And we appreciate everybody who's joined us.
Yeah.
Peace.
Mac and Free is all over the place. YouTube. I think we on the TikTok now. You got Snap Chisel, Instagram, Facebook. We all over. We own the line, baby. We are on the line. You go on the line and you find Mac and Free everywhere. You can find us on the line. You understand what I'm saying to you? On the line. You go on the line.
Oh, hold on, man.
And you
that
type
online?
Oh no, on the line. You got to go on the line and find us. Now, when you go on the line and you click the bird, you click the camera, you click the big F, and you click the X. That's not Malcolm X. That's what we thought it was, because that's the era we come from. That's not Malcolm. That is some white man who decided to buy it and change it to X and turn it black. I just realized what he did there. It just hit me. But you go on the line, you find all of those, and then you click the subscribe buttons and follow and like, and you watch all the content. Some stuff is funny, some ain't. Give us your opinions. We're gonna block you if we don't like them, but give us the opinions that you have. Give us the
moderators.
Give us the honest opinions. Give us the honest opinions. We like those. And when we come back next week, we're going to talk about more stuff. Hopefully, no more Cat Williams stuff. I've had enough of this for the last couple of days. We get in these, we get talking to two people who like to research and go down the worst rabbit holes in the world. I've been through all kinds of rabbit holes trying to. I've been on Cat Williams 23andMe. I've been trying to find his lineage and all kinds of mess at this point. I've been pulling court transcripts for the last 3 days because I don't like to come on here and give conjecture. I just learned what that word was 2.5 years ago. I don't like to come on here and do that.
But anyway, until next week, next Friday, make sure y'all in the building. Peace.